Hi, everybody, and welcome to my broadcast for weekly witch chat. Be sure to follow me on my social media platforms: Facebook, Magically Blessed; Instagram, Autumn Phoenix 1; Periscope, Autumn Phoenix; YouTube, Autumn Phoenix; and Twitter at Priestess Autumn. There is no video for this broadcast. It is just audio. So, first off, we have a full moon on the 12th, and also, of course, on the 13th, because as witches, we know that the moon is full 3 days before and 3 days after the actual date. This is the last full moon of this decade. We are about to enter a brand new decade, which is a brand new decade. Let that sink in. A brand new decade. So tonight's broadcast is figuring out what is good and bad info about witchcraft. Good and bad information about witchcraft. We have about 1 billion sources of information available to us about witchcraft, half of which you'll find out real quick if you're a new witch contradicts each other. As a new witch, even as a experienced witch like myself, you have got people telling you what to think, how to do magic, and what makes a quote unquote real witch. It's a lot to work through, even as somebody like myself who is a high priestess, to navigate. I've always found that a guiding principle is along the lines of this: if it works, it works. If the information you are using is getting you the results that you want, that's fantastic. If it is not, then you need to reconsider your sources. There are some forms of magic that seem quote unquote low tech. Technique and technology, i.e., ingredients and tools. Sigils are one such form of magic. You take a intention, make a squiggle out of it, and yay, magic. No. A sigil does not require that you just have the intention. You need a little bit more than that. You also have to deconstruct, codify it, form it into a symbol, and then activate it. This is a technique. The tools, ingredients, methods, and techniques that we use exist for a reason. They make our job as witches much more easier, and of course, what we all aim for, our results much better. We as witches use certain herbs, certain tools, and certain techniques for a reason. One big reason is that these ingredients and tools have their own spiritual properties, their own spiritual associations. And those properties has their own qualities, talents, abilities, and preferences. We as witches work together with them in our craft. These things have their own power. It is not all on us. I told you all before, witches work with the energy found in nature to bring about change in our lives. Somebody needs to write that down. Somebody needs to write that down and let that sink in. Witches work with the energy found in nature to bring about change. Magic is not about feeling in control. Magic is not about feeling in control. Let me explain. If all you are getting out of your craft is a feeling of control, then you are not doing magic. Let me say it again so somebody can write it down. If all you are getting out of your craft is a feeling of control, then you are not doing magic. Your magic should be getting you real, tangible results. You should have the ability to make money show up when you need it. Make people leave you alone. Hurt people who have hurt you. And know things that you have no real way of knowing. You should know that if needed, your magic would get the job done. If you have been told, well, lied to several times, I would say, that you can't get a particular result, or that your magic has quote unquote limitations that keeps you from getting tangible results, then you won't get results. The people that you are learning from don't even know how to get results themselves. As witches, always use the results of your magic as a measurement, as a yardstick of how good the information you are working with is. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself. You know, the idea that intention is the only part of magic that you need, or that magic is just about feeling good, is not native to witchcraft. Let me say it again. The idea that intention is the only part of magic that you need, or that magic is just about feeling good, is not native to witchcraft. We have spell books, we have grimoires, we have Book of Shadows that stretch back hundreds of years. These practices were tested, tweeted, and ultimately perfected over centuries of use. And they work. If your spell is making you feel good rather than putting money in your wallet, then it's not a spell. Whatever traditional witchcraft you pull from, it is valuable. They work. We don't use red roses for love because we feel like it. We use them because there is a tradition of using them and successfully getting results from going back hundreds of years. When we use them, we can be certain that we will get the results we want because people have been using them and getting those results for generations. This is what you should be using to judge the quality of your sources. You can take any book about witchcraft off the shelf, or even going to Barnes and Noble and flip to the bibliography, and chances are, witches, that if it even has a bibliography, it only references other recent publications of the same sort. You will not find references to history books, early spell books, philosophy, or psychology. You will find other authors who write about Wicca or modern goddess worship. And if you check those books, they will also reference only other modern pagan and witchcraft authors. It's a loop. It's just a vicious cycle. It's just one long, terrible nightmare. It's most likely watered down information about witchcraft, or even worse, stolen from another culture. I strongly suggest that when you become a witch, you actually study what you are getting yourself into. I strongly suggest you study what you are getting yourself into. Search for authors who do have bibliographies filled with various factual sources. Read the source material, and of course, before you become a witch, you should always do your own research outside of the pagan section and New Age section of the library and Barnes and Noble, and seriously consider reading about history, philosophy. Read the first-hand accounts of witches from centuries past. And of course, you should ask experienced witches, ask priests, ask priestesses that you respect greatly, and ask them what authors they love, and read those books. Read those books, because those experienced witches have already changed their lives by working with the energy found in nature to bring about change. So they know what they're talking about. You don't just want the feeling of being good when you do magic. You want to also make sure your life is good because you do magic. You want to also make sure your life is good because you do magic. You won't always feel good after doing a spell. But just because you don't feel good does not mean that spell was a success. If you do a curse or a hex, of course, obviously, you're not going to feel good. You might feel a little bit guilty, but trust me, you'll get over it because your enemy is getting dealt with. your enemy is getting dealt with. You just don't want to sit around because you're happy you did a spell. Okay, that's great, you did a spell, wonderful. But is your life here in the present good because of that same spell? So in summary, if you find information about witchcraft that works for you, that's the right source for you. It might not be the right source for another witch. And of course, you don't have to be able to do everything as a witch. Find what you're good at. Find your niche. Is it good for you to do love spells, money spells, health spells, prosperity, abundance? Find what you're good at, and you will live a magically filled life because you chose to do that particular magic to change the circumstances of your life. So once again, let me tell you guys where you can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook at Magically Blessed. Find me on Instagram at autumn_Phoenix1. Find me on Periscope at Autumn Phoenix. Find me on YouTube at Autumn Phoenix. And find me on Twitter at Priestess Autumn. Once again, I am High Priestess Autumn Phoenix. And this was Weekly Witch Chat. And I will be chatting with you all later. Bye, everybody.